What's up everyone, it's your man Alex here. Now today I wanted to talk about habits and an interesting element of the process of changing from one bad habit to a good habit. A lot of us think of habit change as being particularly painful, and one of the interesting things I've realized about habit through changing my own habits over the years is that every habit has the potential to be something you do and perform willingly, if that makes sense. A lot of us think of habits as being having to take on a sacrifice in life, or having to drop something that you previously enjoyed for something that you don't enjoy, but you're having to sort of force your way through things and have to take on new chores. So for example, you might currently like to smoke every day. You might smoke 10 cigarettes a day, and the fact that it's not very good for you has caught up with you, and your doctor's saying, mate, you've got to stop this 10 cigarettes a day, and you're thinking to yourself, oh no, I have to move from doing something that I enjoy doing to move to living a life of not smoking, i.e. doing what I don't like to do. What I'm saying is that when you understand that with enough time spent doing the new habit, and with enough time being disciplined on replacing poor habits, whatever the habit is, whatever the new replacement habit becomes, whether it be getting up earlier in the morning, or doing exercise every day, or reaching out to a new person every day to network with them, no matter how horrible the idea of doing this new habit is, you will get to a point, no matter what the habit is, and I'm serious about this, you will get to a point where you will perform the new habit willingly. You will actually look forward to it. So it's not about changing your life to be one of fun to being a life of sacrifice. It's about understanding the nature of habit change and how we as humans are habitual creatures, and understanding that when you say no to an old habit enough times and you rationalize to yourself enough times all the good reasons why you shouldn't be doing the old habit and why you should be doing the new one, and all the good reasons behind doing the new habit, you're going to get to a point where your belief system and your perception of the previous bad habit becomes so powerfully negative that you start to see all the good things in the new one, and you start to do it willingly. So no matter how painful it is, and no matter how much you loved your old habit and how much you can't bear the idea of your old habit being out of your life, you will get to a point where you start to actually enjoy the new habit. Okay, so I found this with getting up early in the morning. I have spent my entire life up till age 33, I'm 34 now, being a night owl, loving the idea of staying up. I would treat every night that I was able to stay up later than my bedtime when I was young as the ultimate triumph. It was all about staying up late for me and doing stuff through the night in the wee hours in the dark, and getting stuff done in the night, and being the kind of person who would roll out of bed at 10, 11, 12 through school, through university, through my 20s. That was just the way that I was, and I accepted that as who I was, and that was what I liked to do, and that was how I lived my life, until I realized how many more benefits you gain from shifting the day a little bit earlier. So now I get up every morning at 5 a.m, not to brag, not to be a dick, but because of all the benefits. There are a ton of benefits that I realized through testing out the change and then elongating that new habit into my life, and realizing that actually by saying no to waking up late in the morning and saying no to going to bed late at night long enough for 30, 60 days eventually leads you to thinking of going to bed early and waking up early as a good thing, as something that I look forward to now. And now that I've done it so many times, this is a habit that is no longer hell on earth for me, which it used to be. Getting up early and having to sort of break out of my dream and run to the phone on the other side of the room because it was beeping is now something that brings me joy, because I associate waking up early with getting stuff done more effectively in the day, and I associate it with being able to start my morning routine and start living a life of discipline and start living a life where I feel like I'm in charge of my life, and it's just 100 times better. I have that extra clarity, that extra sense of hope and control in my life now. So whereas previously the habit of getting up early was painful, doing it long enough, day in, day out, eventually turned into a habit that I enjoyed. I eventually rationalized it. In whatever way the brain works, I rationalized over and over again how good it was. I kept coming up with new ideas. In order for me to stick with a habit, you need to come up with reasons for why you should stay with it. And of course, that starts to mold your brain. And that's what habit change is all about. It's all about rationalizing to yourself over and over again why it's important to do it, coming up with your whys, coming up with a purpose behind doing these habits that leads to not only the habit sinking into your psyche and becoming a habit, but you start to look forward to it. You start to enjoy these new habits. Same for nofap. This is a little bit of a different dynamic because there's a very strong itch behind fapping. A lot of men there's a sexual urge which is extremely powerful, but even so, having developed something of a habit, I'm not quite through the initial stages of urges yet, but I can see how this is starting to become the kind of habit that I see in my life as a positive, rather than, oh God, I have to avoid wanking for another week. This is pure hell. I can start seeing, okay, but this is actually leading to all kinds of benefits. I'm becoming more mentally clear. I'm hugely energetic. I'm thinking more clearly. I'm more positive, more hopeful, more creative. So think about that and how that applies to your habits and your habit changes. Like, for example, I spoke about this in one of my nofap videos about the habit of masturbation. I'm sorry to go into this, it's a bit dirty, but a lot of men have a lot of trouble with the idea of quitting porn and quitting masturbation because they think of the idea of not having any of that in their lives anymore is it's a frightening thing because it has such a powerful hold. It's like telling a drug dealer you're never going to have heroin anymore in their life, and it's very, very difficult to stomach the idea, the vision of you as someone who has none of that in their lives anymore. And that vision can become so overwhelming that if you're trying to break the habit, you're going to give up after a while because that vision is so strong. It's telling you you can't live a life without the heroin, without the addiction, without the smoking. So you might as well give up now. You're not going to live a life 60, 70, 80 years where you're not smoking the entire, like, it's ridiculous. So you give up. But of course, what you don't realize, and what needs to be instilled in anyone who's trying to change a habit, is that given enough time, 30 days, 60 days, 70 days, 100 days, however long it takes, you will start to shift your way of thinking about the new habit and the old habit, and you'll start to willingly perform the new habit, whatever it is, no matter how complicated, no matter how painful it is at first. So just bear that in mind when you're taking on new habits. It's an amazingly powerful thing what your brain can do if you have the persistence and determination and purpose behind why you're changing these habits. Hold with it, hold fast. I'm finding this with my nofap, with my getting up early and all the other disciplines that I'm taking into my life. Freaking hold fast on the habit. Just stay with it and keep finding those reasons why you need to keep on track, on the straight and narrow, on the clean side. You'll start to amazingly wake up more and more positive about whatever it is you're changing into, whatever habit you're taking on. You'll start wondering why on earth you liked the previous habit, why on earth you were once a smoker. If you want to quit smoking, quit it cold turkey and just hold fast on not smoking, and you'll start to find a positive sense wash over you that turns into a new like for not being a smoker. You'll start to enjoy the habit of no longer smoking because of all the health benefits and all the great things that come along with not being a smoker. So just bear that in mind for when you come to changing habits. Hold fast on the new thing. Keep coming up with solid reasons why, and just be determined and disciplined. And don't worry about this panic that you feel that you're never going to have that previous thing in your life, because you will start to change your perspective on it. It'll start to become something you look forward to, and you'll start to change. It's amazing what your brain can do. Your whole psyche can change. Your whole personality changes. And I'm seeing this in my life. So hope that helped, hope that makes sense. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, do subscribe, smash the smashity like button, and do write a comment. I'm always interested to hear about new ideas you want me to put forward, or new ideas that you want to share with everyone else reading and listening. I'll see you in the next video.